Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to Oglethorpe Outlook here on the SDH Network. I'm Madison Crews, and joined with me is Adrian Levy. Adrian, how you doing today?
Good. How are yourself?
Doing well, doing well. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about that last matchup against Lynchburg. You guys conceded a goal in the 57th minute. Then you guys came back thanks to a goal from you in the 80th, a golazo, might I add. Watching that back, I just have to ask, what did you see in that moment? You looked up, you saw the opening, and you just went for it?
Yeah, my teammates set me up very well. Um, I would say I always take shots outside the box, always taking risk every time I get a chance. So, every time I get the opportunity, I'm always going to try to hit it in back of the net.
What was the message when you guys conceded the goal? John Aikens on the side. You guys are coming back after that. What is he trying to relay to you guys as you guys are getting back into lineup and getting ready to continue out for the rest of the game?
He says just play our game. Every day we work so hard. We practice every single day out in 96-degree weather. It's so hot. So just play our game. We know we're capable of being like a great team this season, but we just need to play our game every single day and every single game.
Listen, you mentioned the heat. I mean, it feels like for some reason it's like this false fall and then it'll be fine in the morning. And then as soon as you hit like 11, it's like blazing hot outside wherever you
Yeah,
go.
it's
It's
brutal.
horrible.
It's brutal.
It's
Yeah.
horrible. And I can only
Yeah.
imagine on the turf as well, because I feel like the turf just adds another 10 degrees to what it already is.
Yeah, for sure. Especially on the cleats. It gets so hot.
But I do want to touch a little bit. Obviously, the start to the season, you guys are unbeaten, but they are all ties, 4 ties in a row. Starting it off, I mean, what does it say about the team's ability to really grind out those results when you guys are conceding one and then you're coming back to score one, or you guys are keeping it an even draw, 0-0 as you continue to go?
Yeah, I would say we need to start focusing on coming out much stronger every time. But, it shows a lot of grit that we can always come back and um, clutch with either a tie or 3 points, whether it's we're losing 1-0, 2-0, and we come back 2-2 or 3-2. We always show that passion for trying to come back and represent this organization and program.
What do you think needs to improve within the team at this stage of the season in order to see a little bit more wins?
Yeah, I would say we just need to come together. We got a lot of guys with a lot of talent. I would say our starting lineup and our bench, we got a lot of depth. So, we just need to come together a little bit more. It's a new team, a lot of new guys. So, in the end, if we come together, we're going to be really, really hard to beat.
And even with the 4 losses, you guys aren't losing, which is also a plus in itself as well. What would you say is the vibe in the locker room with it being 4 straight ties?
It's always that chip on your shoulder, when you play for a really good program like Oglethorpe, but we just go game for game. We just focus on the next game every time. And, it's always, I would say, a struggle knowing that you could have done more. And, you have a opportunity of showcasing yourself. But I would say that in the locker room, it's good vibes always. It's always good vibes with the boys. So, as long as we can keep it fun and competitive every single day, I think we'll go far this season.
I want to ask a little bit about your game as well. You have 3 goals in the past 4 games for Oglethorpe. How do you identify yourself as a player? What is one thing you would use to describe how you play?
Yeah, I would say every day the boys give me a lot of confidence, and I feel like my gameplay is just built off of a lot of confidence. If I'm feeling really confident in the moment, I'm gonna take somebody on. I'm gonna find somebody to play it to, or even shoot on goal. Who knows what might happen. But I would say my confidence is my main key.
Is there a specific person you try to model your game after? I see the Inter Miami jersey behind you, so I'm
Yeah,
assuming maybe Messi a little bit.
yeah, for sure. I'm from Florida, so watching Inter Miami and Messi and Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets it's all good vibes when I go back home and I get to watch them.
I love it, and I want to touch too. I mean, I want to go back a little bit to that game against Emory. Watching you play in that matchup. I mean, just the grit that you guys showed, going down 3-0, then coming back 3-0. 2 of the goals came from you outside the 18 once again. what does that say just about the confidence, and what's something that you've learned in order to get a little bit more confident in taking those shots outside?
I would say if it's all in the squad. If we can bounce off each other's energy and build confidence within the team, it will show in every individual player. So I would say my guys always telling me to shoot, 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 whether I miss or not. And I feel like that gives me a big advantage when I'm coming into the game and we're down 3-0, and I come and I just start shooting as much as I can. But
It really does show, especially I think after that game in Emory, you guys got the tying game goal. You would have think that you guys got the game winning goal with how
yeah,
well
yeah.
you guys celebrated with that. How is it to have such a great chemistry with everyone that's there at Oglethorpe?
I would say from last year's we had a really good season last year, and I feel that we fell a little short. But it's always, now that we have a whole lot of new guys on the team, and we're always working towards a certain goal throughout the week. I would say that it's always good vibes, every single day in training and in the games. If we come sluggish and with the bad attitude and stuff, it's going to show on the field. So I feel like every day we come out and try to support each other and just bring good vibes.
All right, my last couple questions for you. I want to touch on this road trip that you guys are going to be going on. You guys will be going up to face Washington and Lee University. What has been the message from John leading up into this game, and kind of wanting to improve on a couple things before heading on that road trip?
Okay, yeah, he mentioned that they had an unfortunate couple games, and they're looking to bounce back very strong. So I feel like we're gonna come out and we're gonna also prove to them that we're looking to get that result as well. We're very excited for these upcoming games. I just can't wait to the next game. But yeah, I feel like this weekend, I feel like we'll get it done for sure.
I love it. And you guys are inching closer towards SAA. You're getting closer to conference play starting up. Has it kind of hit you yet that that's kind of slowly creeping around the corner?
Yeah, I would say that these last 4 games were quite a battle. So as we proceed into the SSA, I feel like these games are going to get, I wouldn't say not as difficult, but I would say just coming in and having a strong mentality coming into each game. Trying to come out with the 3 points.
Awesome. All right. Well, Adrian, once again, thank you so much again for taking the time, and good luck this weekend on the road trip.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Alrighty, everyone, welcome back into Oglethorpe Outlook. I am joined with head coach of the women's side for Oglethorpe in Rob King. Rob, how are you doing today?
Doing really well, thanks. Good to be with you.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and talk about that loss on the road against Covenant. A 1-0 loss. It was your first of the season. What are your overall takeaways from that match?
Yeah, I think we'd looked at them a little bit going in, so we knew what sort of style of play they were. I think the biggest thing for us at the moment is making sure that we don't put ourselves into too many physical battles. We're quite a young team with 13 new this year and 10 last year, so we're young. And when we match up with the more physical teams, that's not to our advantage. We really need to connect on our passes and get open and move the ball quickly. And we didn't really do that in that game, and it hurt us a bit.
What have you been seeing from the group, especially with the run you guys have had? You guys are now 3-1-1. What have you been seeing from the girls, especially culture-wise, mentality-wise from them?
Yeah, I think, as I said, we're a very new group. So we've got 13 new faces this year and 10 last. So out of our squad of 30, 31, 2/3 of that squad is pretty new to us, played a year of college soccer or less. So in these early stages of the season, it's very much about forming those relationships on and off the field, learning a lot about each other, and then as we do that, then we hope that chemistry transfers onto the field. So we've come together pretty quickly with this group. It is a talented group, but as I said, they are young, First couple of games, and first part of the season, college wasn't really in full flow. Now they've got pretty rigorous academic schedules as well that they're keeping up with. So it's just getting a little more complicated for them at this stage as we get into the meat of the semester. But they're doing really well. They're working really hard on the things that we ask them to do on a daily basis. So yeah, I'm pleased with the progress. Looking forward to our next few games. We still got a few things that we want to sort of work through and be in the best possible shape as we enter conference play.
How difficult is it to find a balance, especially being a head coach? A lot of these players have these other classes and then they have practice to balance. How difficult is it for you to try and find that balance and help them find that balance between school as well as playing?
Yeah, that's always the balance that we run into as college coaches. I think for me, this is my first go around with NCAA Division III. So most of my time has been spent at the NCAA Division I level or Division II level, and in some larger institutions. I really enjoy what we have here at Oglethorpe. I think we do a really nice job of getting that balance right. The way that classes are structured, with the exception of a couple of lab classes, that period where we practice from 4:30 to 6:30 in the afternoon is pretty free of classes. So we encourage them to get their work done early in the day, get any homework done if they can prior to coming to practice. But even if we finish and they've still got stuff to do, it's not reaching late into the evenings for them. So I think the school and the schedule itself lends itself well to being able to balance both.
I want to move on. I want to talk a little bit about we talked a lot about how this is a very new team, a lot of new faces joining in. You still have a lot of returners as well. Mackenzie Jones is one that has been a standout, I think, this season so far. How have you really seen her develop and grow, not only as a player in her time at Oglethorpe, but as a leader on this team?
Yeah, I mean, Mackenzie, we're fortunate this year. We had 3 seniors last year, so only 3. This year we have 6 that are seniors on the team. And this is the group that obviously they came in before I got here, had some early difficulties with COVID and other things that were going on. So a start to their college, experience that wasn't the best. But this group has really come together, collaborated with us as a staff to really lay the foundations in our program of what we want to be known for, both in terms of our style of play, and all the things that we hold dear in our program. So as a group, that senior group has done a tremendous job of growing and developing our program. As you shared, Ken's is a leader in that group, on and off the field. So we've seen her grow in that capacity, and now she's one of our go-to people on the field, but also off the field as well. She rallies our group and keeps everybody together and motivated.
I want to touch a little bit on this back line that you guys have had. You guys have had a lot of really good results, and a lot of that is from how solid your back line is. What are your overall takeaways from what you've seen from them in the first couple of games?
Yeah, we've been pretty solid. I think we've maybe only let in a couple of goals, the season so far. But we're still trying people out in that. We've got a deep squad, and we've got players with different sort of defensive traits and capabilities in there. So we've got some more physical players, we've got some quicker players that are a little bit more comfortable on the ball and help us in building out. We've got some very good athletes in there as well, and some good soccer savvy. So it's really, for us at this point, while we've been very good and haven't given many goals up, either with our back 4 or with our 2 keepers that have been rotating in and out, it's still really a work in progress for us. We've got several that are competing to start for us, and then depending on on the game and what we're asking of our players, it may, it may change who we're putting in.
How interesting is it, because we talk about the regular season, we talk about this non-conference schedule that you guys have before you get to conference, how much of it really is kind of like playing around a little bit with these non-conference games. You get that game experience, but it really helps prepare you for when you get into conference play and you kind of get an idea of who's going to start, who's going to be someone that you're going to be looking to make those big plays.
Yeah, and that's that's the beauty of the preseason period as well. We played a couple of scrimmages in there. We played Clayton State, who are going to be a really strong D2 this year. Got a very talented squad over there. And then through our non-conference stuff, we play a selection of NCAA Division IIIs, but we also mix in some of the top local NAIA schools as well in there. So, we go up against Georgia Gwinnett, who are perennially nationally ranked, on Saturday. So tomorrow we go over to Talladega. Slightly different type of team as well. An international coach and a lot of international players, different style of play. So what we try to do is expose them to a number of different playing environments on the road, at home, different fields, and different types of teams as well. We run up against some larger, sort of stronger, more physical type teams, and then we also run up against some very sort of technical and cultured players as well. And I think that gives us, without having to travel too far and incur the expenses of some, out of state and out of region travel, it allows us to play some really high level opponents without going too far from our home.
And you mentioned it. Let's go ahead and let's talk about this matchup against Talladega College. That's coming up tomorrow for you guys.
Yeah.
What is the early scouting report like for them? What have you been seeing from them in film? And also, what are you going to do to try and, get a result there?
Yeah, I mean, we've watched them. They've played a couple of games. They've had a couple of games postponed. So, but we were able to see some film and chat with some coaches and take a look at what their tendencies are, what they like to do on the ball. For us, we like playing on turf, and their home field is on turf, as is ours. So for us, we know we're going to be able to move the ball quite nicely against them, which is good. They're a team that has some older players, some international players. Physically, they're quite a strong team, and they're technical as well. So we need to make sure that we're trying to control the game by moving the ball, by moving our opponents around, and then as we play it into open players, or we create overloads on the flanks, or whatever it is that we're trying to do, we make sure that we capitalize on those moments with good finishing.
Awesome. Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time, and good luck this weekend, and wishing you all the best.
Great. Nice chatting with you, and hope to do it again.